Well, first of all, as we all know, there are about 1 billion people living in Africa today. It's growing at a rapid rate. GDP growth has been expected to be around 5%. Standard Chartered Bank just recently came out with new figures looking at about 7% on an annual basis up through the year 2030. Anglo American is present in about 6 African countries today. We have about 110,000 employees. We've invested about $20 billion over the last 10 years, and we're looking at investments of about 15 or so going forward. So how do we see the challenges? Certainly, we are leading the charge around creating sustainable modern mining. What does that mean? That means addressing safety, it means healthcare, it means HIV/AIDS, TB, malaria, it means job creation. And it means thinking more holistically about our industry. Now, what do we have to do? What attracts us to Africa? What do we look for as we think about making further investment? We look for transparency. We look for accountability. We look for working with governments and the ability to access those governments. We look for a free and open market on a continuous basis and solid judiciary systems. And finally, certainly infrastructure is something that we discussed at this panel, and it's a big challenge, whether it's on power availability, water availability, whether it's rail, road, ports. That's what we're going to all consider as we think about investment.
I mean, obviously, in Africa, we've been watching the restructuring, if you can call it that, of Anglo American and their assets. And people are wondering, are you scaling back because there are new frontiers outside of Africa, or because of the commodities boom and bust cycle? Maybe Africa's not really where you need to be focusing the core of your mining operations.
No, not at all. We continue to invest. As I've said, we invested about $20 billion. We're looking at about the same going forward. So there's no pulling back from what we're doing. In fact, we're reaching out more and more. We see South Africa as really a beacon for all of Africa, and really a beacon for the world in terms of what can be shown as far as best practice goes.
And the final question, obviously Africa is commodity dependent and we're very susceptible to the fluctuations in the price. The price is looking good right now, and so hence many more mining opportunities. But really in the current environment where we're seeing consolidation, people say the big and the strong will survive. The junior miners are the ones that are in trouble. And yet the junior miners is where the focus is on when we talk about transformation of African economies, getting more African investors into mining. Are you looking at partnering with other sort of indigenous entities in the interest of empowerment?
Well, we've done that as already. In the case of South Africa, we are 26% Black empowered, and we've done those deals, and we're continuing to move forward with our joint venture partners. At the same time, as we look out, we think about investments not for 5 years, not for 10 years, but for 20, 30, 50, 100 years, really generations, and the impact that we're going to have on that basis. So yes, the answer is there are those opportunities. That's why we're looking for consistency and reliability in terms of the systems and the standards that are put in place by governments. And it's on that basis that, yes, we're always looking for opportunities, and maybe on the partnership side as well.
Nationalization a concern for you in South Africa? Talk of nationalization?
We don't believe that the government of South Africa, they've spoken very clearly, the nationalization is not part of their agenda. We believe in free market policy. That's what the South African government officials have clearly endorsed as well.